Hello and welcome back. As usual, I'm going to do another round of the Immaculate Grid. I had intended to put the last two grids up, videos of me doing them, but a couple days ago I forgot to hit record, and yesterday I just got caught up with home improvement, didn't have time. But today I am committed to getting a video up. But if you're keeping score at home, and I'll talk more about this later, I am keeping score actually. This is how we did a couple days ago, so it was pretty good, 8 out of 9. Obviously the best answer here is Orlando Cepeda, the baby bull, as a giant who hit 40 home runs. Another answer I like to point out is Will the Thrill Clark, having played for St. Louis and San Francisco. I'm going to give a shout out to my old friend Tim here, who a few weeks ago we were presented with the same intersection, and he remembered, unlike me, that Will Clark played his last years in St. Louis. I had forgotten, so shout out to Tim for that answer. Yesterday was a little ugly, 6 out of 9. Now, it seemed like it was a tough puzzle because the average was about 5.8, and I did record that, so here are a couple of highlights. But I am going to actually go back to the Senators, and we'll go to Walter Johnson. Now, I think that a lot of people are onto this, and Johnson will get, probably the double digits, but we'll see how this goes. Maybe the Senators didn't precede the Rangers. Okay, well, a learning experience, right? Okay, so now we're looking at one guess to try to make it to 6. Okay, so for my last guess, kind of like my go-to guy with Detroit is Todd Jones. I'm sure there's better people to pick in terms of more teams, like Fernando Rodney's probably pitched for more teams. I bet Edwin Jackson made his way through Detroit, but we'll go with Todd Jones, who was a closer at the beginning and end of his career for Detroit. We'll see if he landed in Cincinnati. He did! Yes, Todd Jones, my man. I have been recording my scores over the last couple days, and I'm recording them on a spreadsheet. And the experiment here is that I'm going to just record my scores over 5 days, and then in the days leading up to Labor Day weekend, I'm going to record those scores too to see if there's any improvement. Now, one thing that I will note, and I think I've said this in a prior video, is I don't feel like I'm retaining knowledge as easily. So I'm just kind of curious, like how fast or how slow my scores will improve. With that said, let's get started with today's grid. Okay, so here is today's grid. It is July 29th, and we have the Babe Ruth bookends here, the Boston Red Sox and the Atlanta Braves. Of course, when Ruth ended his career as a Brave, I believe they were playing in Boston at the time. In addition to the White Sox and Orioles, and a couple of achievement categories there. Let's see here. Yeah, so for the Boston, I feel like Luis Aparicio actually might work for both of these. I know he played for the White Sox. I feel like I remember that he played for Boston in the 60s with like the Carl Yastrzemski teams. And I feel like, I'm pretty sure he played for the Orioles, perhaps before that. But again, not 100% sure on Luis Aparicio, but I may go ahead and take the flyer here instead of on Brady Anderson. Okay, but Braves 20 wins. Okay, so this is one that I'll actually answer now. So obviously you have Schmaltz, Glavine, Maddox, right? Warren Spahn being a pitcher for the Braves, a lot of wins, but I think I might go with Johnny Sain here. Another potential answer is Lou Burdett, who was traded for Johnny Sain between the Yankees and then the Milwaukee Braves. I don't remember if Lou Burdett actually won 20 games in Milwaukee. I would think that he did, but I'm not sure. So we'll just go with Johnny Sain and see what kind of percentage he pulls. 0.9%, so that's pretty good. All right, so Cy Young. Okay. Oh, right. So with Atlanta and the Orioles, another name that I think might work here would be Greg Olson. Now again, like Dennis Martinez, I know he pitched in Baltimore, but I don't know if he pitched in Atlanta. I mean, it very well could be that I'm mistaking Greg Olson somehow with Matt Olson, who is the current first baseman for Atlanta. But I feel like Greg Olson might work here, and I feel like he won the Cy Young for the Orioles when he had like a particularly good year in relief. But with the Orioles, there's a lot of choices potentially for Cy Young. I mean, Jim Palmer, you'd have to think, won a Cy Young. And if you just think of that staff where they had 420 game winners, I mean, Mike Cuellar probably won a Cy Young, although not necessarily with Baltimore. Pat McNally had a really good year that year, so that would be another possibility there. Don't know why I'm struggling so much. So the Cy Young Award started in 1957. So none of the old-time stars, like Eddie Sykot, I don't think could have possibly won a Cy Young Award. I'm pretty sure he retired well before then. I mean, obviously there have been good pitchers for the White Sox since then. I think Early Wynn, wasn't he a White Sox pitcher? Yeah, I don't know if Richard Dotson or Lamar Hoyt might not have won in the early 80s. So this puzzle presents a lot of questions. So I am going to at least anchor myself with a safe one here, and we'll go with Carlton Fisk. And like I said, I'm going to guess that this one will pull double digits. 14%. I bet Canseco would have been slightly lower. Okay. Yeah, let's see if Luis Aparicio. I bet it's Luis, right? Because he was Venezuelan, right? Luis Aparicio. Okay. All right, come on, Luis. 1%. There we go. And yep, White Sox. Okay, since I don't have a preference between Brady and, well, I feel like for whatever reason, Greg Olson might work here. There we go, 0.8%. All right. Well, that rules out using him in Cy Young. I feel like Ron Guidry won a Cy Young. Yeah, Louisiana Lightning. I know he had like a season where he was like, I feel like sub 2.0 ERA. And he had to have over 20 wins, right? So I'm going to go with Ron Guidry. 2%. I was hoping for lower, but that's fine. I mean, what can you expect? He was a good pitcher. All right. So Baltimore, Cy Young. I'm going to go with, we'll go ahead and go with Mike Cuellar here. I'm not 100% sure on this, but we'll see if it works. 4%. All right. All right, well, let's go ahead and get the Boston 20 win nailed down. For this one, yeah. Oh, I wonder if, I feel like Bruce Hurst might have had a 20 win season with Boston. You know, when he and Clemens were the big dogs there. Yeah, let's go with Bruce Hurst. Yeah. No. All right, we'll go with Tiant. 3%. All right, can't get the perfect. Let's see, and I'm going to guess that if I don't get this one, I'm going to be below average, because I feel like this one is a very doable puzzle. Yeah, I think Jermaine Dye is who I'll go with here. I feel like he was on the White Sox when they won the World Series in like 2005. So that's going to be my guess. If I had to take a guess on Sox Cy Young, I'd probably go with Blackjack McDowell, even though I'm not 100% certain that he won a Cy Young award at all, let alone with the White Sox. But I seem to recall that's when his peak was with the Sox. We'll go Jermaine Dye. Okay. 134 rarity. Not bad considering I missed one. Oh, the average score was 6.6, so I did much better than average today. That's good. Only 3 White Sox with a Cy Young award. Okay. I don't feel bad for struggling with that then. So, It'd be CHA, CHW is probably the White Sox. Blackjack McDowell. If I would have went with Louis Tiant with Boston, I would have had the perfect grid. Okay, well, I will record this down, 8 out of 9. I am reasonably happy with that. And then we'll come back and record my scores for the next couple of days and see where I'm at. Oh, 64%. That would have been a very high score. But in any case, yeah, I hope you have fun playing today's grid. And yeah, I will be back soon. All right, take care, everybody.